Hi all, this is Dr. Dave Maslach. I'm going to talk to you about my peer proofreading and editing platform, reciprocity.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or check out the website if you think it's cool. So today I wanted to actually talk about persuasion and the idea behind persuasion, especially when you're trying to convince an audience whether something is interesting. So, as an academic, I study strategy in organizations, and we as academics have to do a lot of persuasion whenever we write academic papers. We have to persuade the reviewers that what you're doing makes sense. We have to persuade the larger audience, the academy, as it's sometimes called, that what your project that you're working on is actually going to benefit many people as a whole, and you just have to convince. You have to persuade yourself as well. You have to persuade yourself that the thing that you're working on, because it's such a long time endeavor, the thing that you're doing is actually worthwhile. And the reason why I'm thinking about persuasion is because of the whole reciprocity project that I'm working on right now. And I'm thinking to myself that a large part of building an audience, particularly on YouTube, is about persuasion as well. So it's thinking about what other people are interested in. And so what are some ways that you can do this? Well, in terms of persuasion, there are multiple ways, and some of this is built on the research on what is the sociology of interesting, I guess. The first one is sort of appealing to emotions and sort of thinking about the emotional impact that the audience is going to have when you're going through some written material, or you're going through whatever you're working on. You want the audience to feel whether it is negative emotions, sort of distaste, whether you want them to sort of be empathetic, for example, but some sort of emotion. That sort of emotional state is really powerful. The other thing that you can do, so trying to engage the audience emotionally, is really incredibly important. The other thing that you could do is sort of think about things that are counterintuitive, right? So the world works in this sort of way, or we think the world works in this sort of way, but it actually works in this way over here. And that's a really powerful tool. It's actually really difficult to do because you have to convince many people that that is the way that things are moving, right? Or that the way that the world works is that way. The third, with persuasion, the third sort of other sort of powerful technique is to convince one particular member in society, or a small group of members in society. And if they are sort of powerful elites of some sort, right? So the audience is one particular powerful person. If you can convince them that your idea is interesting, or what you're working on is interesting, then there's going to be more people that are going to follow, right? So this is sometimes called contagion in sociology, where we think about how people sort of follow based on outcomes, based on what somebody else believes somebody else is doing is interesting. So those three techniques are really incredibly important. And if you think about sort of building a YouTube channel, or building an app like this, or whatever, whatever this is, you have to. If you think about the first one, is the reason why I do these YouTube videos, is I'm trying to engage the audience emotionally, and try to give you a sense of who I am, why I'm creating this thing, and why is this important. The other one is thinking about sort of counterintuitive. The way that the world works right now is that there's very, very high transaction costs in terms of getting your work reviewed, and people wanting to actually help out, but they just can't because there's no sort of central meeting place. And then the third thing, right? So the third thing is to get the sort of a small group of either powerful elites or a small group of individuals, and have them build on top, build an audience. So that's where actually this happens a lot, and you do have this option, but I chose not to do it in YouTube. You have the option not to show how many followers you have or subscribers that you have on the YouTube channel. Because when you have a small group of followers, it's a small group of followers, a lot of people are going to not be persuaded with what you're working on. It's not until you get a larger group, right, so you pass a certain critical mass, that people are actually going to jump on board. The mass number of people are going to jump on board on on the thing that you're working on, the YouTube channel or this app, a particular app, or even in terms of reviewers or audience members. When you're reading or when you have a book, it takes a long time. This is the reason why writers have to take a long time, or one of the reasons writers have to take a long time to develop something, is that you're building this audience, and it's kind of one particular audience after the other, right? So it's just one audience member after the other until you start getting a critical mass, a larger group of individuals, and then it sort of piles on each other. But those initial while it takes a little bit of time to build, and it's sort of just convincing one individual at a time. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today, was the power of persuasion. How you can sort of persuade people to be part of an audience of the thing that you're working on. If you like these videos, if you think that they're interesting, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help me out if you can. Go onto the app and go onto reciprocity.com and check it out and see if you think it's interesting. All right. Well, take care. Bye.